Oh, what up guys, Travic here, and today I want to talk a little bit more about Dawn of the Hunt. We are 3 days and 6 hours out, and I am beyond excited. In our last video, we talked all about the Huntress and my early plans for Huntress and what I was thinking and what I was excited about. And I wanted to dive a little bit more into detail on some of the other stuff that was coming, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Lich. If you haven't seen it recently, Path of Exile did a live stream reveal for Dawn of the Hunt, and they went through all the new Ascendancy classes and some of the new Ascendancy skills. And one of those Ascendancy skills is the Witch. Now, if you haven't looked into it, the Witch is going to be a Lich. It kind of weirdly rhymes. And there's going to be all new skills involving around raised specters and all kinds of cool, interesting things. Now, this Ascendancy class looks absolutely crazy, and one of the ones that I definitely, alongside the Huntress, fully plan on making in this reset. One of my favorite things about early access is being able to test and try all kinds of different things and really explore all the nooks and crannies that a lot of players haven't really gone down. You know, when we were playing the earliest releases of Path of Exile 2, a lot of people said this wasn't good, that wasn't good, this can't work, that can't work, and I just didn't listen to a lot of it and just kind of tried a whole lot of different things. Granted, sure, some things like worked in the meta and didn't work in the meta, but the Lich is really, really interesting. If you've ever seen previous videos of mine before, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of the Occultist. I love playing Hexblast, and the Lich seems right up my alley. Also, on top of that, in Path of Exile 2, minions have been a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing minions in Path of Exile 2 compared to Path of Exile 1. I've even gone as far as playing a softcore solo self-found or hardcore solo self-found run where I am playing an Infernalist running around with minions, and it has been some of the most fun that I've had in Path of Exile in a minute. Now, this Ascendancy offers a wide variety of different things and is insanely powerful. They've gone even as far as to add a jewel socket right in the middle of the Ascendancy node, and this jewel socket is giving us the ability to socket a non-unique basic jewel, increasing the effects of the socketed jewel by 100%. Granted, you have 50% more mana cost if you have no energy shield, but I really don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. On top of that, like, let's be honest, looking at the artwork on this is out of this world amazing. This Ascendancy is going to offer a whole lot of really cool, awesome things, including a bunch of small energy shield nodes, more energy shield if you consume a power charge. Dude, okay, so wait, hold on. I know I was just like kind of reading off the nodes, but like this node right here, 30% increased energy shield if you consume a power charge recently. There are so many ways in the current game to just consume power charges, including auras, that the fact that you could just have a almost permanent uptime of 30% increased energy shield is just mind-blowing to me. Because if there's any way, shape, or form that you could stack this with any sort of like weird crit, this might be really good. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if there's like, I know for the monk there was like crit nodes or crit damage if you like a consume power. I don't know. We'll take a look, but there's just a lot of cool things going on. And then you also have non-channeling spells consume power charge to deal 25% more damage. So like these two nodes, just thinking with the Lich is just like completely crazy because like there's so many non-channeling skills, and like I'm getting off track. I'm totally getting off script. Everything about Path of Exile 2 is just, there's just so much sheer excitement. I can't wait. Just reading these nodes again without even reading them out loud. All right, focus. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Anyways, the Lich is going to give us a lot of really cool things. Just the right side of the tree alone gives us the ability to get more energy shield, more damage. We're going to take 10% of damage taken bypasses energy shield. We're going to regenerate mana to 6% of our maximum life per second. We're going to get more life, and your life cannot change while you have energy shield. Something about eternal life and soulless form working together kind of strikes me as completely busted and is probably going to get nerfed into oblivion before it even comes out. But I think Lich has this really niche, cool god mode ability going on. I'm really excited. This is really strong. It's really, I don't know. Dude, your life cannot change while you have energy shield. 10% of damage taken bypasses energy shield. That means as long as you have energy shield and your life can't change and you're like CI and you have like 20,000, 10,000, whatever energy shield, you just 10% reduced damage. Like, this crazy. This absolutely crazy. And then over on the left side of the tree, you know, you have more energy shield here. And then this node over here says non-channeling skills cost an additional 3%. Maximum energy shield, non-channeling skills deal more damage. Spending energy shield does not interrupt the recharge. That just seems completely crazy with any sort of leech. Assuming that leech is actually good in 0.2, then we'll be in a really nice spot. And then we have coming on this side over here, we have this node for Rupture the Soul. Cursed enemies killed by you or allies in your presence can explode, dealing a quarter of their life as maximum chaos damage. Chaos in itself, insanely powerful as a mechanic. Explode is insanely powerful. I played a Hexblast character in Path of Exile 2. I was gonna say 0.2.0. I played a Hexblast character in Path of Exile 2, and it was just crazy as everything was immediately cursed, and you just threw Hexblasts everywhere. And the fact that we can now make them explode while stacking damage is wild. It's just absolutely wild. It's just crazy. And then coming down here, we have increased effective curses, and then the final note down here says 4% increase magnified of unholy might. Buffs you per 100 maximum mana. Now, I didn't know what Unholy Might meant, and thankfully this image tells us, but Unholy Might is a buff that grants you 30% of all damage as extra chaos damage. So you're telling me that I have the ability to explode enemies, give me maximum magnitude of extra damage as chaos? Like, wait, so I take 10% less damage, my life doesn't move if I'm CI, I can explode my enemies, Unholy Might just gives me 30% more damage. Like, everything about this is just, how do you find room to fit all the points? Because that's not even including factoring in the jewel socket, that you're always taking the jewel socket. The jewel socket is completely busted, and we haven't even looked at the last couple of nodes. Like, the last couple of nodes says you and your allies and your presence have Unholy Might when you're on low mana, lose 5% of mana per second. So like, now we're thinking about you and allies. So now I'm like, wait, well, there's specters coming, and there's all these different summons, and that can be completely crazy. And then the final node, which is good, not as exciting as all the others, is you could apply an additional curse. Your curses can affect hexproof enemies. Yes, that's pretty powerful, and I could see it being very strong with Hexblast. When I first saw this Ascendancy, the first thing that came to mind was Hexblast, 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 and all I wanted to do was play Hexblast. And like I had mentioned, even in Path of Exile 2, I had played a Hexblast character. Granted, I had taken the gear off it since, but playing Hexblast in Path of Exile 2 was really kind of a lot of fun. I used it as a trial runner for Sykemis. It was a lot stronger for a long time than my monk, and it just allowed me the ability to just deal a super amount of damage and just kind of be able to cut down all of my enemies without any problems. I'm trying to open up the passive tree. And Hexblast was crazy. Like, you just built it full crit and all this extra damage, and you had all these jewel sockets. And looking over at the Lich and trying to think about what we did, assuming nothing really changes too much come patch notes, we're going to be in a crazy spot where I can't wait. As much as I want to start the Huntress, and as much as I want to just, you know, go right in, play Amazon, Lich is a really strong pull. Now, my final decisions on what I'm going to be played really kind of depend on the patch notes. You know, we're a couple days out still from the patch notes. I was reading online that patch notes might not be until Thursday, New Zealand time. So it's going to cut it close. So we're going to have a lot of last minute final decisions. We're going to try to get the patch notes read as fast as possible and consumed. We're going to try to see if POB gets updated, and we're going to try to make a plan as early as we can. They're talking about 100 new support gems without giving us any information that we have to discover it all in game. And while that's completely spooky, is really kind of exciting. So I don't know. I don't know. Friday can't come fast enough, honestly. How far away are we again? We're like 3 days and 5 hours. It's only been like 9 minutes. My God. It's gonna be a long 3 days. It's gonna be a long 3 days. But as we get more information and we find out more about like buffs, changes, nerfs, what's coming, what's going, you know, we'll talk about it. We'll try to figure it all out ahead of time. Worst case scenario, as far as like what's going on, my lead decision right now is to play Amazon, and you know, I'll provide you guys with all kinds of updates to what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what my plan is as soon as we get more information. I do know if we get patch notes today or tomorrow, I'll read them as fast as possible. I'll digest as much as I can, and I'll get that information out to you guys. But for now, friends, I'm going to keep trying to find as much information as I can. If you guys have found some other good interviews, I know there was the interview in Japan. I know there was the Gazi and Darth microtransaction interview the other day. If you have some good stuff and you want to share it down below in the comment section, I'd truly appreciate it. If you find other good bits of information, I'd love to hear about it. But otherwise, what are you guys planning on playing for Friday? Do you guys have any cool ideas? Any kind of which way, how you guys want to do things? I'd love to hear what you're thinking and where you're going about for Friday. But for now, friends, I'm just going to go try to consume as much Path of Exile 2 information as I can before Friday. And I'll see you all in the next one.